Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me get some fists and feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. And we'll go ahead and get this party started. We've got Umar Johnson. Oh my gosh, Umar, Jermaine Shoemake, fake African, fake descendant of Frederick Douglass, fake doctor, fake psychologist, fake school creator. Insert here, insert here, insert here. The question of the evening is a rather controversial one, but it's a question that must be asked. Is Umar Johnson a government agent? Because I've never really heard any Native Black Americans speak against receiving reparations. I've never even heard really those that identify as Pan-Africans speak against Black Americans getting reparations. But for some reason, we have Jermaine Shoemake here, cosplaying as Umar Johnson, a real name Jermaine Shoemake, by the way. He's just vehemently opposed to reparations for some strange reason, almost like he's on the government's payroll and he's compensated financially to promote these talking points or something. But either way, one of my viewers sent me a video from Sabby Sabs. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Dr. Umar, a friend of the show, sent me this video of Dr. Umar, and then it caused me to look up another one. You know, Dr. Umar has always said that he supports reparations. He supports it for the entire diaspora. So he's not in favor of lineage-based reparations, so to speak. Okay. But then this video.
Wait. What does Umar Johnson mean? He supports reparations, but not lineage-based for the entire diaspora. So when these tethers are online talking about they should get reparations from America too, they getting this shit from Umar? They getting those talking points from him? He's out there running around telling these African immigrants that they should get some of our reparations checks.
According to this, he doesn't even think that Black people, this generation, should have reparations. I kid you not. Again, friend of the show sent this to me. You can get ready to laugh if you want. Wood said, Dr. Umar goes full Sambo on the topic of reparations. LOL. Let's play through this once and then we'll chime in.
You are asking for cash. Then your reparations list ain't worth much.
That's what I said.
Because your reparations list should put you in a position to make all the money you want on your own. What you need to pay out from him for. But Black people are so worried about money that we can't see the bigger picture. We also fail to recognize that reparations is not just for us living. It's for those gone and those not yet here.
Come on.
I ain't heard nobody talk about how much we're going to put to the side for the generations unborn yet.
Facts.
And that's why I believe.
Yeah, that's the classic Umar Johnson fuckery. Well, you know, reparations, like money, like Black folks don't need no money. But matter of fact, if somebody needs some money, it's the ancestors. So we got to figure out how we can get, a Cash App, PayPal payment to the ancestors over in the ancestral realm so they can get their reparations checks. And then we got to put some money to the side for the future generations that are not born yet. And then maybe we could talk about getting some reparations for those that are still alive. This Negro has to be paid by the government. There's no way he really believes the bullshit that's coming out of his mouth.
That this generation of Blacks in America, we shouldn't get the reparations. We are too irresponsible.
Ain't ready.
We will waste it.
Yeah.
Put the reparations in a trust somewhere until we get a more.
Negro, you better speak for yourself. Last time I checked, you've been crowdfunding millions of dollars for a school you still never built. Since 2012, you've been raising millions for a school that still ain't built. Best you got is a bando in the project somewhere down the street from a prison. And you gonna tell us we're irresponsible with money? Damn, if y'all haven't checked out the documentary I did on Umar Johnson, go ahead and check out the homepage of my channel. Just search Umar Johnson. I've done a lot of work on him. Lord, guys, this dude has like 2 or 3 kids floating around. Perpetual womanizer, Pan-African pseudo babbler, and he's gonna lecture us about finances.
More revolutionary, more conscious group of blacks. Let them decide what to do with it. We ain't there.
Yeah.
Look at all the bunny hopping and we do. What we doing with reparations?
Easter Sunday.
No. So we can blow the money. I had a sister text me one day. You know what she said? Can you stop talking against reparations? Because I need that money to pay my bills.
Oh, man. Short-minded. Short-minded.
Reparations is to repair, not to pay your damn weed bill.
Fix my debt.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's chime in.
You
folks.
are asking for cash. Then your reparations worth money.
That's what I said.
Because your reparations list should put you in a position to make all the money you want on your own. What you need to pay out from info. But black people are so worried about money that we can't see the bigger picture. We also fail to recognize that reparations is not just for us living, it's for those gone and those not yet here.
Come on.
So let's talk about the cash part. I thought we've addressed this before. I don't know, but it's a debt that is owed. So if we go back to General Sherman's promise to freedmen at that point in time, the promise was 40 acres and a mule. Apparently this started to happen for some, but was quickly cut short. So of course did not happen for the majority of freedmen. The 40 acres is land, the mules, your transportation at that point in time, but land is net worth. That's a part of net worth. So net worth is what you own minus what you owe. So just think about all that generational wealth that would have been created if that would have happened the way it was supposed to. So think about that for a second. So he has a problem with the cash part, but it's a debt that is owed. I don't understand why. This is the part that just drives me crazy.
Guys, I want you to answer with honesty. Do you think Umar Johnson is an agent provocateur? I've never heard him talk about or speak out against Israel getting billions of dollars from the United States. He's never said the Israelis are going to mismanage their money. They should solve their own problems. I've never heard him speak out against the Ukrainians getting billions of dollars from the United States to fight Russia. He ain't saying, hey, them Ukrainians mismanaging their money. I think they should get their money tighter before we give them more. No, he ain't saying that. So it's interesting how every other ethnic group can get a handout, but when it comes to our ancestors getting rectification, i.e. reparations, and since our ancestors aren't alive to get it, guess who has to receive it? Their living descendants. Somehow that's an issue. I wonder, is Uncle Sam cutting your check?
I owe you $500. It's a debt that I owe to you. Now you have the idea or you have the right to handle that however you want. If I owe you $500 and I promise to pay that $500 to you, you have the right to take me to small claims court if you want to. You can do these things. The problem for freedmen, though, is that we have a debt that is owed to us. And the most recent case that I saw was shut down. And that was in Oklahoma when the survivors of the Tulsa massacre, and yes, there are some who are still alive, they took the case to court to get reparations for their homes in their town burned down. And the judge rejected it, threw it out, said no. So what are we supposed to do? Is a debt that is owed. Let him go on.
I ain't heard nobody talk about how much we're going to put to the side for the generations unborn yet.
Facts. Facts.
And that's
Pause. Go back one more time. I'm sorry. I don't like this line.
I ain't heard nobody talk about how much we're going to put to the side for the generations unborn yet.
How much are we going to put aside for the generations that are not born yet? So if I give you money, it is not my place to tell you how to spend it. Everyone say this with me. If I give you money, it is not my place to tell you how to spend it. That is
Because truth be told, we've been donating to Umar for over a decade now. And we've been telling him to build that goddamn school, and he still ain't built it. Still ain't completed it. But he gonna pocket watch us? What? Focus on building that school, Umar, and stop doing these Pan-African little pop-up meet and greet speaking engagements like you're a traveling preacher.
your decision. So if Friedman got reparations, it's really not his place or anybody else's place to say, okay, here's this money for reparations that are owed. Now you need to take 5% of it and put it aside in an account somewhere for the next generation. No. It's the same thing when people come to me and they say, well, I think that Friedman should have reparations, but I don't want to tell them how to spend it. So I think that money should go to Black community leaders. And I push back and go, no. I don't know those leaders. We don't know a lot of those people. They say give it to community leaders. Like who? Like Al Sharpton? We don't know a lot of those people. That's the other thing. And I'm supposed to trust that they're going to do the right thing?
Come on, guys. COINTELPRO 2.0. They assassinate Martin. They assassinate Malcolm. They say they have a fear of a Black Messiah. What better way to prevent the next leader from rising amongst us other than placing pseudo leaders within our community? Insert Umar Johnson, insert Tariq Nasheed. Two individuals who don't use their real government names, who use misnomers and pseudonyms, who both sow division within our community. Guys, let's talk about it. If we look at the signs, Umar shows all the signs of being an agent. I don't know if you guys watch that TV show Snowfall. I don't watch it. I've seen some clips, but I know it's about Freeway Rick Ross and how he was working with the CIA and all that stuff. And I know about the real life court case and the real life pact he had with the CIA so that they can fund the Contra rebels and all that stuff. But Freeway Rick Ross was an agent. He was working with the Alphabet Boys, the CIA to be exact. So if you were around in LA in the 80s, 90s, whenever, and y'all hearing stories and rumors, yeah, you know what? Freeway Rick Ross, one of his people got pulled over with the keys in the trunk. And yeah, the police let him out the next day. I don't like, all these other people getting jammed up right up by the feds, but Freeway Rick Ross, he don't get touched. I mean, guys, typically a sign of a government agent is they can get away with shit that the average person can't. And they allow them to get away with it because they're serving a purpose. And them getting this special permission to get away with some kind of illegal racket, well, that's part of their prize for leading their people astray. Freeway Rick Ross got government protection. He probably got to take out a lot of his rivals and shit because he was in bed with the CIA. Umar Johnson doesn't get convicted on the school scam where he siphoned millions out of the community. I wonder why. GoFundMe suspended him, thought it was a scam. The state of Philadelphia gave him a cease and desist letter, said he cannot raise funds in the state of Philadelphia anymore. But the government isn't charging him with anything. Meanwhile, some content creators do a little 50,000, 40,000, 20,000 GoFundMe scam, and they get charged for that. They get convicted for that. But let's go ahead and get back to the subject of reparations, because at the end of the day, reparations is going to come. I don't know if it's going to come in my lifetime, my child's lifetime, or my grandchildren's lifetime, but we know it's going to come. And no matter when it comes, you can do the first step to making sure you're prepared, because reparations is going to be a lineage-based claim. So whether it comes in your lifetime or your descendants' lifetime, the first step is tracing your lineage. If you have yet to trace your family tree to at least the early 1800s, go to nativeblack.ancestry.com. I'm here to help.
My name is Frances Tuck, and I contacted Mike from Mike TV on YouTube because I wanted to find out about my family's Native American history that I believed existed. Through the research that I was able to do through Mike TV, I was able to find out that our name is indeed on the registry. I had a consultation with Mike today, and because of his advice and the research that he has done, I am now confident that I'm able to find my family's roots in the Native American History database. Thank you, Mike.
Not on me to tell you how to spend it. He goes on to say this.
Facts. Facts.
And that's why I believe that this generation of blacks in America, we shouldn't get the reparations. We are too irresponsible.
Get ready.
We shouldn't get it because we are too irresponsible. This generation should not get it because we're too irresponsible. So there he is using a blanket stereotype to frame an entire group of people.
We're wasted.
Yeah.
Put the reparations in a trust somewhere until we get a more revolutionary, more conscious group of blacks.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the trust.
In a trust somewhere until we get a more revolutionary, more conscious group of blacks.
Pause. No other group was told to put the reparations in a trust somewhere until they become more conscious. When Japanese Americans receive, and they got cash reparations, when Japanese Americans receive cash reparations, the question was not, are they conscious enough and ready for this yet? Maybe we should tell them to put it in the trust until they're ready for it. Or maybe we should put it somewhere to the side for them until we feel they're consciously ready for it. That to me is a stalling tactic. When I hear this type of rhetoric, when I hear people say, oh, you're not ready for it.
Agent alert,
Put it in a
agent
trust
alert,
somewhere.
agent alert, agent
You're not
alert.
conscious enough for it yet. To me, that's just a way of stalling progress. And I told you before about people that will do this, people that come into certain organizing or activist spaces that will try to stall the progress as much as possible. Because I'm sorry, that is owed to freedmen in this country. You can't sit back here all these years and just say, I know it's been a long time and I know you were promised 40 acres and a mule, but let's just put that money in a trust somewhere until you're more conscious and ready for it. This is when I hear Dr. Umar talk about this to me says that he is there to delay the progress.
And why would he delay the progress if he wasn't instructed and compensated to do so? And we just had a Cash App contribution come through from Charles. Charles, thank you for the contribution. I appreciate you supporting the broadcast. You know, they got your boy shadow banned and demonetized, so folks like you keep the lights on, and I appreciate you.
That's an infiltration tactic, by the way, in organizing spaces. I don't know if you guys know about that. That is an infiltration tactic. That doesn't mean he's necessarily an infiltrator, but that is a tactic where people go into organizing spaces and they try to delay the progress as much as possible.
Let them decide what to do with it. We ain't there.
Yeah.
Look at all the bunny hopping and we do. What we doing with reparations?
Easter Sunday.
No. So we can blow the money. I had a sister text me one day. You know what she said? Can you stop talking against reparations? Because I need that money to pay my bills.
Oh, man. Short-minded. Short-minded.
Reparations is to repair, not to pay your damn weed bill.
Fix my...
So you see this, right? Okay. And you can agree or disagree with him on some of this. But once again, it's not my place to tell you how to spend it. Here's another one here that was sent to me. Listen to this part.
That's where we're messing, even with the reparations movement. We're going to sabotage that.
Do you think that's a legitimate movement?
I was about to ask, do you think that happens? Like,
is that real? Is that political talking points to get black people riled up and at the voter booth?
There is an organization National Coalitions for Blacks for Reparations
I've
in
heard
America,
of them. Yes.
who I respect. They've been around for a long time. I think they have been drowned out in this conversation, although they have been the most consistent and have put in the most work.
And I bet if we spoke to representatives from that organization, they would say cash payment reparations are due now. They wouldn't say no dumb pseudo shit about we gotta wait till we more conscious. We gotta wait till we stop snow bunny hopping. We gotta wait till we put something to the side for the future generations. No, I bet you that reparations organization is saying cut the check.
For reparations, I think they've been drowned out by this recent wave of YouTubian social media opportunists who are trying to hijack the narrative in the conversation for personal, selfish, financial reasons.
He said YouTubian. Oh my God. Who said it here? Where did it go? Oh, I just had it. Someone said something about this. Yes. Music World said that is very rich coming from a person always asking for donations for his school he has yet to build. Yeah, you're right.
I'm bringing it up to say reparations is a legitimate movement. It is as old as slavery. The first reparationists were Pan-Africanists. It was born of the Pan-African movement. We've always had a fight for reparations since slavery. Now, this new age social media reparations conversation, I think, takes away from the seriousness and the integrity of the original reparations movement, because I think it's too much focus on I want some money right now.
Mm-hmm. Who is he talking about here? Is he's talking about the social media movement of reparations? I mean, okay, so Yvette, for example, was just on here for the panel, right? ADOS is an organization. Like, I mean, look at it this way. Like, even if you don't agree with Yvette on everything, you can't say like, look, they didn't start an organization, and the organization has chapters like in different cities. I mean, at least they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't sit here. There was an ADOS conference. There was an ADOS conference last year. I mean, it's not like they're not doing anything. So if that's what he's referring to, I mean, when it comes to the social media thing, I'm like, yeah, they're on social media, but they're also building things. So I guess I just don't understand why he sees it that way.
I don't think the people carrying the conversation
hold on. I don't know why.
Of the original reparations movement, because I think it's too much focus on I want some money right now. Mm-hmm. I don't think the people carrying the conversation.
I hate when this thing does this. Where are we? 320. This is a YouTube thing. Sorry, guys.
Of the original reparations movement, because I think it's too much focus on I want some money right now. Mm-hmm. I don't think the people carrying the conversation.
Let me just do it.
Damn right, we focus on we want some money right now. What you talking about? That's the whole point of reparations. We needed that shit 400 years ago. It's overdue.
Of Black America.
Yeah.
When I go on social media, I keep saying people say, I need some money. So they're not thinking about slavery. They're not thinking about reparations. They damn sure not thinking about Black community reconstruction. They just want some money like a PPP loan.
Yeah,
they see reparations as a PPP loan. And you know what they're going to do with it? They're going to take that money right to white people.
Yeah, put it on FanDuel.
Same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
So this seems like a stalling tactic to me. And I think that Lance brought up a good point. He said Yvette is a serious person building a legitimate reparations movement. Umar is out here chastising people for interracial dating. Yeah, someone put in the chat, they said, oh, invite him on. Seth said, just interview Dr. Johnson. Oh, he definitely ain't gonna come on here. Seth, I got love for you, but he's definitely not gonna come on here. But yeah, to me, I think that, again, I think Yvette has done they've done a really great job. And I know it's not just her like by herself, but it is an organization. They've had conferences, like they do have different chapters and things like that. And when I hear Dr. Umar, use this type of framing, it feels like a stalling tactic. And as someone who's been in organizing spaces for different issues, I don't know, man. I feel like I can spot them now.
Come on, guys. If you're new to the broadcast, post your answer in the chat. Is Umar Johnson a government agent? Why else would he be speaking out against our reparations movement? It don't make no damn sense.
I feel like I can spot the people that's like, you're trying to delay progress. You're trying to stop it from working. That's why you're here.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. We've got a live caller coming from the back to the front. Is Ben. Ben, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Well, I'm in California. I just came past your live discussion. Was this regarding a statement by Dr. Umar, blacks don't deserve reparation?
Yeah,
I disagree
your
with
thought on that
that.
statement?
I disagree with that.
Okay, well, you have the floor.
Because black, who's black and what's black and such and forth, such and such is a fine line. But if we look at collectively as a people in North America, majority of us, and what percentage I couldn't say, maybe a quarter or maybe more than 50%, are descendants of Africans, of those that were enslaved during the transatlantic slave trade. But at the same time, then we have this other front where we're dealing with people that saying, I'm not black, I'm not African, I'm an indigenous American. I'm an indigenous Native American. But at the same time, if you look at the system of colonial and imperialism as it was perpetrated on people on the continent of Africa, where the majority of Africans that was transported from West Africa and Central Africa through the transatlantic slave trade, those descendants, even though slavery was a brutal and inhumane system that our ancestors went through, the governments, the banks, those that finance the ships, those banking institutions around today, they may have different names or go by different names or LLCs, but if we follow the money trail, we'll find out what those banks and organizations and institutions, whether it be academic, whether it be scientific organizations, all played a part in the dehumanizing of human beings that happen to be from Africa, but transported to America that are classified as black. I believe this. I'm an independent, united, compensatory thinking. I believe that the damages due us are based on economics, education, entertainment, politics, sex, war, religion, labor, and law. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ben, I do have a question. So it sounded like you were kind of splitting Black Americans up into two different groups. You said there's one group that believes that their ancestors were aboriginal to the Americas, and then what was
Correct.
the other group that you referenced?
Well, the other group are those that are classified as Black Americans, but when I was coming up, I'm almost in my 70s. Didn't go by that title, black or blacks. So you either colored folk or Negroes and the such. So the titles and classifications and racial classifications continue. Those morph and change over the decades and over the years. But we know who and what people they are talking about. We know who the victims are. And we know that the banks and the financial institutions can pay it because they have demonstrated based on constitutional law, based on laws before the United Nations, that they have the ability to pay. Hell, they print up the money. If you look at Article 10, Section 8, 9, Article 10, Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution, it says that only Congress can coin money and regulate the value thereof. That means in my lifetime, I've never heard or witnessed any session where Congress voted on the value of any currency. So
Well,
they're
I do
just
have a
printing.
follow-up question. Quick follow-up question. So I know you mentioned that there was a group of Black Americans that claimed to have Aboriginal heritage. Was I misreading a hint of skepticism there?
No, it's not skepticism because it's in the titles, it's in the classifications. See, I would say I can't give you the percentage, but I've talked to people. Well, and first of all, let me say this. And I've been out of continental U.S. I was a vet. I'm an Army veteran, 6 years in Army. You know, not until I got out of continental U.S. and began to travel based on deployments and based on tours and based on duty stations. This whole concept of just based on racial classification, blacks, that's not used if you go to Europe, if you go to Germany, or if you go to say if you go to Guam, if you go to different countries,
Yeah, it's something that's specific to folks in North America, right?
Well, yeah, but I would say that it's specific to anyone that can prove that their ancestry, and you don't have to go a lot of generations back, because most of my people come from Alabama and Mississippi. You know, I wasn't even born. I'm in California, but I wasn't even born in California. I was born in Texas. So most of my uncles and great uncles and grandmother and great grandmother, they literally fled Mississippi and Alabama to come to the West because of Jim Crow laws and because how blacks were being treated during the civil rights era. So I came up under that era, seeing that firsthand. So I believe that
So hearing someone like Umar Johnson say that we don't deserve reparations, does that make you think that he may be a government agent, or he's just a coon, or what?
Well, I would say he could be any of those. But at the same time, I would like to, if he said that blacks don't deserve reparations, I would like to hear his point. I mean, what is his argument? We don't
You must have missed
for
it.
what?
So his argument was because we're bad with money and we date white women.
Let's see, Brother Umar I've listened to some of his arguments. I don't agree with a lot of things that he say, but I know as a independent agent and or victim of racism and white supremacy, he has a right to say what he says. That doesn't mean people are going to agree with it. They're going to sign up with his organization if he has
my
an
question
organization.
my question more specifically is, now knowing the reasoning behind him saying we don't deserve reparations, do you think that he's a government agent, or he's just someone that's against reparations just because that's his opinion, or what?
Well, from my background, and I belong to a lot of organizations over the years after my military time. But I'll say this: he could be an agent. See, agents today don't, from the old days, like during the Black Panther Party movement and during SNCC organization and all that. It was easy to point out as you said, a coon or an agent. But now all you have to do is be boisterous, somewhat articulate, charismatic, have some oratorial skills, but for him to say that, or just to say that and then say this is the two reasons why they're going to give it back to the government or take it back to white folk, or they're going to give it to white women. That's very suspect to me. That's very suspect. And I would put him in a category as an agent.
As an agent, okay, for sure. Well, it's always nice to get the opinion from an OG, but I'm going to drop you backstage for just a moment. We have another caller that we're going to bring up and give the floor to. And before we segue to the next caller, let's cut to a quick commercial break.
Enlighten me to, go harder, dig for my ancestry roots. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you find out, the more you know. all the history that we have been taught in school, it just don't line up to all the new truth they're finding out. So you have to dig for the truth, man. And I appreciate Mike enlightening me and pushing me to go harder. So peace to you, Mike. I think everybody should dig deep and holler at your boy Mike, and he'll give you the genealogy constellation, and y'all go from there.
I had my genealogy conversation with Mike today. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. He has a lot of information that will probably benefit you guys. And if you ever get a chance, just you give him a chance. He's a great guy, and I believe he's trustworthy. Very, very trustworthy.
All right, and we've got finally the truth coming from the back to the front. Let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind. Going once, going twice. All right, they are asleep at the wheel. Let's bring the OG back for some closing remarks. All right, so before our commercial break, you were saying that, based on your experience with organizations and knowing how to spot an agent and based off of his rhetoric, you believe he's most likely an agent. Well, before you make that conclusion, let me just rewind the footage a little bit and go back to the intro to what his main points were as to why we should not get reparations. Here we go.
Get ready to laugh if you want. Wood said Dr. Umar goes full Sambo on the topic of reparations. LOL. Let's play through this once and then we'll chime in.
If you are asking for cash, then your reparations list ain't worth much.
That's what I said.
Because your reparations list should put you in a position to make all the money you want on your own. What you need to pay out from info. But Black people are so worried about money that we can't see the bigger picture. We also fail to recognize that reparations is not just for us living, it's for those gone and those not yet here.
Come on.
I ain't heard nobody talk about how much we're going to put to the side for the generations unborn yet.
Facts.
And that's why I believe that this generation of Blacks in America, we shouldn't get the reparations. We are too irresponsible.
Ain't ready.
We will waste it.
Yeah.
Put the reparations in a trust somewhere until we get a more revolutionary, more conscious group of Blacks. Let them decide what to do with it. We ain't there.
So I don't even know what he means by this generation of Blacks shouldn't get it, because at any point in time, there's maybe at least 3 generations of people living, right? So like I just turned 30 last October. I'm in a certain generational bracket. Ben, you're more of an OG, so you're in a different generational bracket. So is he saying
Correct.
that like people 40 and under don't deserve reparations, or that nobody alive today deserves reparations, but people born tomorrow can get the reparation? It just makes no sense.
Well, what it sounds like he's saying to me, parse it out based on the struggle and based on those that have put in work, those that ancestors that have gone on and transition, and because I've listened to some of his I guess some of his speeches before. I see Dr. Umar knows this is a capitalist society. He's not ignorant of that. I mean,
he's been begging for money for his school. He's been crowdfunding for 15 years.
Yeah, he's been making money, and when he goes out on the speaking, or either when he goes out on the speaking trail, or if he goes to he's speaking or debating someone on a podcast or something, he's getting paid for that.
Exactly. Every time we see him on these YouTube clips, on these podcasts, he's getting a check.
Yeah, so he's not just showing up there because he don't have anything to do on that Friday or on that day. No, he truly knows what the game is. Now, if he's talking about take the money and put it into a trust until we raise up a revolutionary mindset and let that money gain interest, but see, reparations is
highly subjective. Who is him to determine if Black Americans have a revolutionary mindset or not?
Yeah, that also, and he's speaking basically from opinion. And second of all, even though he has a right to make that statement, but it doesn't mean it's a cohesive statement and it's rooted in reality.
Well, let's see what else he has to say, because trust and believe, Umar ain't done talking yet.
Yeah.
Look at all the bunny hopping and shit we do. What we doing with reparations?
Easter Sunday.
No. So we can blow the money. I had a sister text me one day. You know what she said? Can you stop talking against reparations because I need that money to pay my bills?
Oh man, short-minded. Short-minded.
Reparations is to repair, not to pay your damn weeds bill.
Fix my debt.
Oh man.
I noticed he didn't say
let's chime
anything.
in,
You
folks.
are asking for cash.
What was that, Ben?
I just noticed he didn't say anything about setting up any type of therapy or PTSD residual effects from slavery.
No mental health, no
mental health.
institutions, no educational institutions, no financial institutions, no real estate developments, no nothing.
No social infrastructure and tailored academics and schools and teachings that will raise us up to that level. But doesn't mean because you become conscious and aware of your status and your status as a Black person in America, that means that you're going to rise to the intellectual level to where you go out and you're going to be a part of a revolution. A revolution to do what? To be revolutionary, to deal with who and what and for what reason.
Exactly.
So he hasn't stated that. Matter of fact, I would love to debate him. But I don't think he would take me up on a debate.
No, I feel you. Well, Ben, it was nice calling in. If you have any final closing remarks, go ahead and lay it on us. And I got a couple more callers to get to before we wrap up this broadcast.
I mean, closing remarks, we just have to be mindful and hyper vigilant to anyone coming in with any mass or any preconceived agendas, because we've been through that. But at the same time, I think we need to come up with a collective, and I don't like to use that word think tank, but a collective body to do the research on the issue of reparations. But at the same time, how can we bring it to the courts, even up to the United Nations and or the courts within the United States, and the highest court being that of the Supreme Court.
Facts. Well, thanks for calling in, Ben. It was nice chopping it up with you, and don't hesitate to click that link in the future.
Okay, all right, brother.
All right, peace. Yeah, it's always nice chopping it up with the OGs. So some of y'all need to have some patience, okay? The OGs have some wisdom. They got some game, okay? Him and the Panthers probably beat up some agents back then. Shit, who knows? But yeah, guys, we definitely have to keep an eye out for these tethers. I mean, Umar Johnson is the modern day Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was a man who had no native Black American heritage. He's a fucking Jamaican tether trying to convince us to go to Africa. A Jamaican tether that teams up with the Klan and Walter Plecker to try to force us to Africa. Umar Johnson, zero native Black American heritage. He's been lying about being a descendant of Frederick Douglass for all his Hotep philosophical pseudo career. He has Cuban lineage. Man is not like us at all. And he's trying to convince us to be Pan-African and try to be accepting of Africans and not to get any reparations because we don't need that, Guys, prove me wrong. He's the modern day Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey was an op. If you know, you know. This is why it's so important to trace lineage, heritage, know where folks come from. I'm telling you, Umar Johnson has zero native Black American heritage, but he claims to be a lineal ancestor of Frederick Douglass. Guys, Google it, look it up. Frederick Douglass had American Indian ancestry. I forget if it was Choctaw or Cherokee. So it's interesting that he's all pseudo-Pan-African. He claims to descend from Frederick Douglass, but Frederick Douglass himself never identified as a Pan-African or an African-American. He had Aboriginal roots. And many Black Americans have Aboriginal roots as well, but we've been made victims of paper genocide. Why is it that they didn't want us to know how to read and write? Why is it that we're the only people who every 60 to 100 years get reclassified and reclassified and reclassified? 1492, they start calling us Indian. 1682, they start calling us Negro. 1851, we become colored. 1960, we become Black. And 1988, we become African American as recent as 1988. Damn. And who was it that spearheaded that African American shit? Jesse Jackson, agent provocateur, government agent. Who's the one spearheading this? We don't deserve reparations. Let's be kumbaya with these African migrants and let them fuck up our culture and take our spot in America. Jermaine Shoemake, cosplaying as Umar Johnson. But we've got finally the truth calling back in again. Let's see if their audio is on this time. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Oh, okay, cool. No, blacks definitely deserve reparations more than any group in the history of the universe, but blacks are not ready to receive reparations. A lot of what he says is true. One, because reparations go to nations, not individuals. And we don't have that. Disqualifies us because we don't want to come together and establish a nation. And two, right now we're too full of self-hatred that's leading us to self-destruction. And that's another reason that we're not ready. And the main reason is people don't realize it, but slavery hadn't ended. It never stopped. It's still continuing. If you look at the Jewish reparations and the Japanese reparations, that's like giving reparations to the Jews while they're still in Hitler's death camps. That makes no sense. So, and if you need proof that slavery still exists, not only can you look at the show First 48, where blacks love to kill each other, and the number one cause of death for blacks between the ages of 26 and 42 is each other. And since 1973, black females have had 50 to 100 million, I won't say the A word, but baby deletions. And we have a 90% divorce rate. So if you give that mess that black people are, and our females spend $30 billion a year on weave, so that would go to $30 trillion a year on weave if you give reparations. So no, blacks aren't ready for reparations. And proof that we're still in slavery, look up the Dred Scott Act, or the Dred Scott decision. Dred Scott is where the Supreme Court said that no white man is duty bound to respect any claim that any black man makes. We're still in slavery. And Curtis, no, you the nigga if you talking to me. So if you got any balls.
Okay, wait, hold on. Slow down. I want to address each one of your points in order that you presented them. I've been taking notes on what you're saying, so we'll definitely get through everything A to Z. And if you want to address Curtis, Curtis is backstage. So after me and you are finished talking, I'll bring Curtis up and you guys can speak if you like. But the first point I would like to address is you said reparations are for nations, not individuals, right?
Right.
And whenever I hear this nation talk, it's typically tied to the sovereign citizen movement or the Moorish Science Temple or something like that.
Say that again. Well, say that again.
Oh, I said in my experience, whenever I've heard people speak like that about nations and reparations, they've typically been affiliated with the Moorish Sovereign Citizen Movement or the Moorish Science Temple or some kind of organization like that. Do you have any affiliation that's similar to that or no?
When people talk about it, no, it's not what people say. It's you look at the history of how it's dispersed. It's not.
No, hold on. Let me be more specific with my question. Do you identify as a Moor sovereign citizen or a member of the Moorish Science Temple?
No,
Okay, so where did you form this thought that reparations should only be paid to nations and not
I never.
individuals?
Those aren't my words. Those are your words. I said if you look at the history and track record of reparations, reparations go to sovereigns of nations and nations. We don't.
That's
We're
false,
not
sir.
established. No, that's not false. We're not. We're
Hold on
zero.
real quick. Hold on real
We're not.
quick.
Okay.
And we have to get through this in a timely manner because I have more people backstage.
Yeah,
But when
that's fine.
I say that's false, let me present the reason why I think that's false. You're saying that it's not your belief that reparations should only go to nations and not individuals, but you're saying that in history, reparations has only gone to nations and not individuals. And that's false because the United
It's not
States
false.
assisted the Jewish people with reparations long before they got a nation
Jews
established.
have no. Jews have a
Sir,
nation.
sir,
You're
when
not.
I'm speaking, don't interrupt. Just like when you were speaking, I didn't interrupt you. The Jewish people, before they got the nation state Israel, they were given reparations by not just Germany, but also the United States government. Not only that, but the Japanese received reparations for the time that they were interned, and they didn't have a separate nation. They were US
Okay.
citizens.
Can I
Their
speak now?
nation is the United States. So when you say that we shouldn't get reparations because we're not a nation, I don't understand that argument.
Can I
And
speak
yes,
now?
now you may speak. Yes.
Okay. You made my point for me when you said Japanese. When you refer to Japan, that's a landmass and that's a nation.
Japanese is an ethnic group.
No, there's a country called Japan last time I checked. You might want to
Last
Google
time
it.
I checked, the United States government did not pay reparations to Japanese citizens. They paid it to American citizens with Japanese heritage. Right or wrong?
Wrong. Because before
Well, let's go ahead and ask the chat. I would love to get some feedback. We got over 100 people watching. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, post your answers in the chat and let's see what you have to say. He's saying that, well, they paid the reparations to the Japanese, and technically, Japanese are election that the United States has never given reparations to the citizens of Japan that were impacted by any of the nuclear bombs that we dropped on them. I believe the only reparations they gave to Japan was not to Japan, but to Japanese US citizens for the time that they were interned in internment camps. Am I right or am I wrong? Come on. Jay says it was individuals, and individuals received $20,000 each. That's what I recall as well. That's what I recall as well. Bebe Rodriguez says Japan never received reparations. The US, Japanese, American received it. Exactly. The ones that received it, their nation was the United States. Black Americans are advocating for reparations. Our nation is the United States. We're asking our own nation to fund the debt that they owe. I mean, I don't know. Afro Troop TV says he's an agent. Tech Phoenix says individual Japanese Americans were given reparations. Priceless Princess says they didn't pay Japan, they paid the Japanese citizens. And I believe it was the Japanese citizens of America, not even the Japanese citizens of Japan, right? If anything, I feel the Japanese citizens of Japan should have got reparations more than the ones who had to sit on timeout in an internment camp for a little bit. I mean, hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, so we got a little bit of feedback from the audience, so I'll go ahead and bring finally the truth up. And finally, the truth, you made several points. I want to address them all. So let's just agree to disagree on your first point. But the second point that I hope you can provide some clarity on is you're saying that we're not ready for reparations because we have self-hatred. Was that something that you said, or did I mishear you?
You keep cutting me off. Those Japanese citizens still identify with their original.
I just told you that you made several points. I want to address them all. We can agree to disagree on your first point. We're now moving past that. We're not discussing nations or individuals or Japanese anymore. I'm trying to get clarification on the second point that you made, that we have self-hatred, so we should not get reparations. Did you say that, or did I misunderstand what you said?
Of course, I said that.
Okay. And why do you believe that Black Americans collectively have self-hatred?
Have you ever heard of something called the ghetto and rap music?
Yes. And do you think that every fucking Black American lives in the ghetto and listens to rap music, you goddamn imbecile? I was raised in the suburbs, comfortable upper middle class. I know plenty of Black Americans who were as well. Never stepped foot in a ghetto. So what the fuck are you talking about? You up here trying to make the claim that we have self-hatred because some of us, a percentage of us, live in poverty. Poverty doesn't equal self-hatred, you fucking imbecile. And if you knew the history of the projects and how they were formed and how we were redlined and how we were segregated from the housing market, then you wouldn't have even made an asinine statement like that. And I know way more history than you, which is why I just got real passionate there. I'm going to calm down though, because as they say in the Black church, bless they heart. They know not what they do. Let's go ahead and see what our live callers backstage have to say real quick. We're going to put Finally the Truth on ice for 5 minutes or so, and we'll get back to him. Curtis, I think Curtis was someone that Finally the Truth was addressing. Curtis, let the folks know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
It was good, Mike. It's Curtis called in from Louisville.
What's
As
up,
far
brother? Late
yeah,
on
what's
us.
up, man? It's been a minute. This nigga, man, he's on one. I don't know if he got picked on in high school or what his issue is with black people in general. Could you can tell he's got a lot of self-hatred in him. You know what I'm saying? And he's just being triggered in chat just off the little comments that's just being made in general. Like he's got a chip on his shoulder. And he's talking about like he's talking about we don't need reparations, like he don't need the money. So I just think it's interesting when people are defending the fact that we shouldn't get reparations because our mindset isn't based on money. Like we know each other's mind state, period. Like Umar's making a broad stroke with saying that we're not going to be ready or we don't know what to do with the money and we need to wait generations afterwards. How about if the generations after us become uh obsolete just be based on the fact that we don't have the funds that we need now. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't understand where Umar is coming from with this whole this generation isn't ready. We need to wait generations after that and the generations before us. We need the money just because of we should have had reparations in the 60s or in the 1930s. You know what I'm saying? We should have had reparations then. This is a debt that's been owed.
1800s, brother. Further
Yeah,
back, 1800s. Yeah.
right, when slavery was still enlisted, it's like we've owed this debt, and like I said, everybody else got paid. The Japanese Americans got paid for being put in the camps during World War II. The Jewish got paid for the Holocaust, which America had nothing to do with that, but they got their reparations. I think Germany had to pay them their reparations. So everybody
Ukraine's
else,
getting billions of dollars from us, and we're not
right,
fighting Russia.
just based off a war that's going on right now that has nothing to do with America in general. Gaza
Yeah.
is not a threat to America, period. So, but everybody else receives
Exactly.
the money. But when it comes to us, everybody has some type of stick up their ass. Even our own people. That's what's bad about it. Even our own people don't want to see us get paid or get the money that's
Well,
owed to us from
see,
America.
I
It's no
find that
point.
our own people, I find that those that are quote unquote our own people and speaking against our reparations claim, 9 times out of 10, they're not our own people. They're descendants of African immigrants in disguise. Or secondarily, they're the low IQ members of our society. Let's just
Oh,
face it.
definitely.
For that guy to be on
Yeah.
here and make those asinine, emotionally charged blanket statements like that, I mean, that doesn't speak to high intellect. How can
Do
you
you listen to
say
rap
that
music? Have you seen
descendants,
the ghetto? What?
how can you say descendants of slaves don't deserve reparations because they live in poverty and listen to rap music? As
But
if
notice,
all rap music is bad for one. I mean, there's a
right?
whole genre called gangster rap, which is a niche of rap music. There's many different niches of that genre, but you know, it's just these weird Sambo, Thomas Sowell, Uncle Ruckus talking points. And I really wanted to get to his other points. He also made a point that slavery never ended, so we shouldn't get reparations because we're still enslaved. And it would be like if Jewish people during the Holocaust got reparations while going through the Holocaust. I mean, that was such a low
Definitely.
IQ statement. That was baffling.
He doesn't
I
make
was really
sense.
like,
Plus,
did this Negro just say that?
not only that, he's
The
not even arguing the
reparations,
point
hey,
of Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Real quick. If he's going to use the Jewish analogy or use an analogy that we're still enslaved, let's just go with the we're still enslaved analogy, right? If we're still enslaved, our reparations would be freedom and the packages that allow us to sustain ourselves and repair the wrong that was brought upon us. like what is he talking about? No, you guys shouldn't get reparations because you're still slaves. First, you got to get free, and then maybe we'll talk about getting you reparations. Okay, you're free now. Wait, no, you don't get reparations because you listen to rap music. Okay, we started listening to country. We took country back. No, you still can't be free because you live in the ghetto. Okay, we got out the projects. We live in the suburbs. No. I think you still have a lot of self-hatred. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Right. He's talking as if he's handing out the reparations like he's the white man or something. Like he's running shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't even make any fucking sense. It's like, nigga,
I
you
would
speaking
bet
against your
my
own
bottom
self-interest.
dollar. He hasn't even done his genealogy. Who knows if he's even a descendant of slaves? For all we know, homie's great grandpa came from Haiti or some shit. I mean, we really gotta check people's paperwork, y'all. As a full-time genealogist, I'm telling you, you really gotta check that family tree when people start talking recklessly like that.
He got a past generation of alcoholics. That's what he got. That grew up in the
Wait,
ghetto.
I think he's been on ice
That's
long
why he's
enough.
bitter.
We're gonna
he's
bring
mad.
finally the truth back in just a moment. Curtis, I'm gonna put you backstage for a second, okay? I'm sure he's gonna want to talk to you at some point. Oh, and you know what? We also got New Era backstage. New Era, let us know where you're calling in from. What's on your mind?
What up, I'm calling out from the Carolinas. I believe most of these niggas on the pardon me. I believe most of these people on the internet is agents, and I did want to talk to that dude the truth about that nation part and self-hate because I love myself and my people. But you do whatever you was about to do. I'll be been backstage, bit up.
All right, for sure. I'll bring you back in a minute. And yeah, like where is this self-hatred? Like that's self-hating to even try to say that a whole nation of people have self-hatred. I mean, what the fuck? They Kendrick said it. I forget which song it was. He said, "I love myself." Okay. The fuck, you may hate yourself, sir. I don't hate myself. I don't think Mayat Egypt hates herself. I don't think Charles hates his shelf. Shout out to Charles again. Thank you earlier for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Oh shit, I just seen another one come through. Russell, thank you for the contribution. I appreciate you supporting the channel. You guys are helping me keep the lights on. You know, YouTube got me demonetized and shadow banned. I'm too controversial. But let's bring finally the truth back. Interesting name, by the way. Interesting name.
Yeah, you say you think you know more history than I do. You know nowhere near it. And you call me an imbecile. You make personal attacks and insults like that. I didn't do you like that.
I apologize if you feel that was a personal attack or insult. That was an observation.
No, that okay, you don't know the difference. Well, you know, you and that dude, y'all can your mama's pussy is an imbecile, and you can go finish fucking your mama, you and that dude.
Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest? Oh, damn, he just left. All right. So I make a clever observation that he's an imbecile. So he makes a weird incestuous remark about my mother and flees stage left. Guys, like I said, bless they heart. They know not what they do. It's the low IQ members within our community that think they have the credentials to speak about who's qualified for reparations. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Just like how we got the ratchet broads and the ratchet gangbanger dudes in the media leading our children astray to false illusions of grandeur, rapping or playing ball. We got these low IQ niggas trying to get in the middle of our reparations. Sir, if anybody didn't deserve or couldn't handle reparations, it would be you. God damn it. God damn it. I don't even know if you can balance a checkbook. I don't know if you're under conservatorship, if you have like an in-home caregiver. I don't even know like what's going on over there, but man sounded like he was suffering from mental health. So I'm not going to roast him further. But we got Curtis in the building. We got New Era in the building. What's on your mind, you guys? What's on your mind? I didn't know calling him an imbecile was going to trigger him so much. Hey, it probably triggered him because he doesn't know that word. He's like, this nigga using a big word.
Let me just say this. I don't know if he was talking to me before he ran off like a little bitch, but I'm not Curtis. He was talking to the other person. So if he was talking to me, you owe me an apology, sir. And for somebody who got self-hate, you mighty talking about somebody else. That's mighty funny. Talking about another dude and black people got self-hate. But y'all to continue. I was just laughing at the
Yeah,
conversation, sir. I got the right to laugh at
and
people.
Yeah,
hey,
Go ahead.
just old nigga babbling. You know, he just talking to just be talking. He's probably drinking some Hennessy or some fucking Parmesan, and he just babbling. And then he plus you see how triggered he gets in the comment section. Like I said a couple of things to him. He's like, "Your mama's pussy" and all this other shit. I'm like, he sounds like he's a dude that works. He's a Walmart manager, and he got triggered off that. So he's easily
Well,
triggered.
you
He just
wasn't even talking to him. You was talking to me. That shit was
you
funny.
know what? I know that type of Negro. I despise that type of Negro. That's the type who's a Walmart associate, and you go up to him and ask him what
he wants to see
aisle
the
so and
receipt.
so is on, and they tell you the aisle, and it's the wrong fucking aisle, like not even close and shit. And it's like, nigga, you're supposed to be helpful. Like, this is your job. You got one job. I mean,
He's a
come on,
nigga that when you
come on.
trying to leave, he just wants to see your receipt and he's scanning all your goddamn items. He one of them niggas.
He's one of them.
Yeah, he one of them self-hating niggas. As soon as he see a nigga doing something, he want to go over there and play a hate. He's one of them motherfuckers.
Hey, he's one of them black loss prevention workers following your ass in the
Yeah,
store for no
trying to tackle
reason.
you and shit.
I know this nigga's ghetto listening to
Right.
rap music gonna steal something.
What you doing them Cocoa Puffs? Put it back.
Hurry up and buy.
Yeah, that shit was wild. That shit was wild. Oh, and you know what? Shout out to Juggernaut. Juggernaut said, "Come on, guys, the banter is all tongue in cheek." Yeah, guys, I thought I was just kind of playing the dozens with him a little bit. I thought I was just jonesing, bagging on him a little bit. Whatever
Nah, I knew he was
terminology
gonna
you
flip.
use, he took that shit to heart.
Yeah,
He took
just
that
looking
shit
at the
to
I
chat,
was
heart.
I was
just
like, yeah,
laughing, bro.
he's finna go off.
I ain't know he was gonna see me and talk. I don't even know what he said or shit. But he just, yeah, y'all the baby belly and ran up. Like, bro, I wasn't roasting you, bro. I'm trying to change. It's 2025. I'm trying not to hurt people's feelings as often as I used to.
That's a good resolution.
I
And shout
think
out
I
to
think
Tech Phoenix. Hold on real quick, Curtis. Tech Phoenix says he didn't want to face Curtis and New Era after Mike. That's what it was. I think that's what he was like. Let me just bitch out real quick and run away because I was talking head to these niggas in the chat, and these niggas in the chat. Wait, you said them niggas backstage, Mike? Oh no. I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, I just want to ask him
Oh,
about that nation shit and that self-hate shit, bro. Because I could have sworn America was a nation and a nationality if I wasn't wrong. I thought if you was
yeah.
American, that was a
So
nationality.
Bro, no. It was totally that weird bullshit sovereign citizen Moorish shit.
No,
And
I
what
know.
they do now is whenever I ask them about it, they lie or they try to act stupid and be like, "No, I'm not a Moor. What's a Moor?" Like what are you talking about?
Nigga, they told us
This
about
dude
Moses
know
in high school.
he worshipped that dude. What's his name? Drew Ali or some shit? Or was it
No idea.
is he the one who started that shit? Or someone else?
I
I
don't
think it
know
was
shit
Drew
Someone
about
else
them
Ali.
back in the
wars.
day, probably.
These niggas is
That
weird. They
was
look
shit. They know,
they
like
like
the
60
spitting
years
names or
old, looking
something.
trying to find themselves and shit. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 60, they don't even know themselves. These niggas is crazy.
That's just wild.
He's
Well, hey
still trying to
guys,
figure out what he wants to be when he grows up.
we shouldn't get reparations because we're still enslaved. So it makes no sense for us to get reparations. And we listen to rap music and live in the ghetto.
Right.
And we're self-hating. So, until we move out the ghetto, stop listening to rap music, stop being slaves, and start loving ourselves, that nameless dude that called in, calling himself finally the truth, he's not gonna let us get reparations, apparently.
Yo, Mike and Curtis, you know something funny? When he was going back and forth with Curtis, and he said that dumbass shit about the ghetto. I had typed that shit about the red line in the back chat, and he never responded to me. But you respond to insults.
Right.
That's so fucking.
See, he forgot
That's
about the
weird.
red line and he thought we were just born in the ghetto. Like he
I
thinks
don't
that
think he
our
knew about the
timeline
red line.
started in like 1990 or something when that nigga was born. That's when black people we have no history outside of America. These niggas are retarded.
Where like motherfucking black dudes wasn't doing drive-bys, doing the civil rights because they got mad at something and wanted to go fuck somebody up. You don't need rap music to go do no fuck up shit or no dumbass shit. You to go listen to some classical shit and go fuck somebody up.
I don't
That's
even
just
get
my
what
thoughts.
Umar is talking about though. Even with the no reparations and shit like that, where our mind frame is like, who made this nigga the head nigga? What is that shit? The the leader of black community to decide whether or not we need reparations or not. Like, who made you the spokesman?
Yo, let me ask
The
y'all something since
CIA,
we all black around
Yeah,
here.
in
right. Pan
conjunction with the
Africanism.
FBI, in conjunction with the NSA, in conjunction
Hey,
with the
I'm trying to ask you a
DEA,
question real quick, Mike. We
and
all
the
back around here.
NASA, known as NASA. No,
DI.
stop.
We all know our daddies, right?
NWA.
We was growing up, didn't our fathers
CSI,
or somebody
NCIS.
in our family
All right, I'm sorry, New
tell
Era.
us
I'm sorry. Go ahead, New Era. Go ahead.
didn't somebody in our family when we growing up asked us that we wanted to be a follower or leader? And most of us said leader, and if we said a follower, we got smacked upside the head and was told to be a leader, not a follower. Because in my family, that's what
His parents
happened.
ain't do that with him.
No, but it happens in the black household. I don't know if people forget about that shit. So who the fuck is the black leaders if we all our own leader?
That was
We're
the whole
supposed
thing
to
to
be.
begin with. There was no leader, and then like for you to be speaking on it, I get where Umar's coming from with his Pan Africanism ass, where everything's about Africa and going back to the homeland and for the people. If it was up to him, he'd give reparations to Africans in Africa. We wouldn't get shit.
For what? For
Facts.
selling us?
You know what I'm
You'd be
saying?
like,
So,
Black Americans, fuck you, but Africans in
right.
Africa who sold their fellow Africans, yeah, give them
Yeah, give them the
reparations.
money.
Hey, that's about right. The white people got reparations during slavery.
Facts. After the Civil
Yeah.
War, the North paid, I think it was $300 per slave that the Confederates lost.
And to be accurate, the government paid them. Let's not talk about the government paid
The
the
North,
motherfuckers.
yeah. At that point in time,
Yeah.
there was one nation that, So it was the government.
And that's what we go after when we talk about white people. Nigga, white people ain't paying us. It's the government, the same fucking Democrats and Republicans. That's who's gonna pay
With
us our
our tax
reparations.
dollars on top of that, like we ain't stopped paying taxes.
Yeah.
They don't.
So
Shit.
where, bro?
Indians is tax free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mike, you tax free? You tax free,
Nah,
ain't
I
you?
ain't tax free.
You not?
I wish I was. Nah, Indian
Right,
tax.
nigga.
I wish.
Shit.
Hold on. I'm gonna look that shit up. Am I supposed to be
Yeah, I
paying
thought there was
taxes?
a
Hold
couple
on, wait a
Indians out
minute.
here that's like they're tax free if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see.
Some of them are.
I think more specifically, we're referring to income tax, but
Oh.
no. See, I'm part of a federally recognized tribe, so I'm still federal, low key. So since whatever would have you, even though my nation's technically sovereign and we have our own land and police force and real estate developments and shit, since I'm still a U.S. citizen. I still got to pay them taxes. What it probably is I would imagine if I went and lived on the reservation, then I could see maybe there being some shit where I don't pay taxes.
But still, though, I mean, like I said, everybody's been kind of caked off. I mean, they kind of just placed the Indians somewhere in the land that wasn't really viable. Was like, look, you stay over here, nigga. But at least everybody got some type of recognition when it comes to us. It's like, reparations for what? And it's like, what the fuck you mean for what? But you got a lot of people just like the call that are stupid. They're blissfully ignorant. They don't want to learn about history. They know that their history's fucked up, and so they don't want to bring that shit up. And they want to think that they've achieved everything in America based on their own merit and their own hard work.
Facts. Engine Radio says if you're getting a W-2, yeah, you're a tax. Brother, I ain't received a W-2 in over 10 years. Okay. Yeah, what are those? No, but
they come knocking on your door, nigga.
Come on.
How much you make off YouTube? Come with us. But yeah, what you gonna say, Mike?
Nah. So I looked it up, and like I was thinking, so if I lived on the reservation, then I would be exempt from state and local taxes, but I'd still have to pay federal.
Damn, because federal is just as much. I mean, it'd be half off, just about.
I mean, it's a little less, I guess, but yeah.
And taking about 40% of your paycheck, anyways. At least they're taking it out of mine. But I don't even want a tax break. Just give us the damn money. But the money is so how much they would literally owe us just from even if you didn't even count slavery, if you just counted the towns that they destroyed and made money off of after they destroyed it and placed white people there, just based off that money alone would just be in the billions. It's like it's
Oh wait,
crazy.
hold on, and let me clear up a discrepancy before some of you tethers watching try to report me to the IRS. The reason I was saying I don't know what a W-2 is and I ain't seen one in over 10 years is because I've been self-employed since I was 17 years old. Okay, like I've seen 1099s. I haven't seen no W-2s. Last time I checked, W-2s were for employees of corporations. But yeah,
Yep,
guys,
that's what I was gonna say. Government, big corporations, and
let's
the
go
entities
ahead and
that benefited off of slavery owe us, not white
oh yeah,
people.
facts. Banks, Lords of London, all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Mhm. I was just looking some shit up on JP Morgan Chase earlier. Like two of their names before they were JP Morgan Chase. They owe some money too.
And you know what it is? They always get these Sambo ass people who look like they're kinfolk just because they're skin folk, and they always get them to be the spokesperson against our reparations. Did y'all see that Dr. Phil episode where he brought on a bunch of coons, a bunch of black people to say how we don't need reparations and shit?
Nah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Watch this shit. Watch this shit. Dr. Phil knows what he's doing. His production specifically sought out some coon ass, Sambo ass black dude to get up there and say black people don't need reparations. Look at this shit.
You say you don't support reparations. Why not? Not everybody suffered equally. I mean, when you go into slavery, it's much more complex than all white people were the oppressors and black people were the victims. If you dissect it, you will find there were about 3,700 free blacks who owned 12,000 slaves.
So because there were 3,000 black slave masters, that means the ones who were slaves shouldn't get reparations? The fuck are you talking about? Go to sleep, pop pop. If you do your genealogy and it turns out your ancestors were black slave masters, guess what? You don't get reparations. If you do your genealogy and you find out you're a descendant of slaves, guess what? You do get reparations. See how simple that is? And I hope this sister right here don't say no coon shit because she looking cute, and I would hate for her to just ruin it by opening her mouth and saying some Republican Sambo coon shit.
Black slaves. The question is, do the descendants of those free blacks who owned black slaves, do they pay? Blacks really benefited more the first 100 years after slavery we have in the last 50 years.
What?
What?
Gonna benefit the first 100 years of what are you talking about, you fucking idiot? That's like saying new era. You're my slave, but guess what? I'm gonna pay you $1 a year. And you're gonna work for me for 10 years. I paid you $10. But guess what, new era? For the next 10 years, I'm gonna pay you $10 a year. So for the first 10 years, you only make $10, but for the second 10 years, you make $100. So how dare you complain about only making $10 for the first 10 years? Because in the first 10 years after your slavery, you made way more. Like, what kind of argument is that?
You shouldn't say wrong person. You should have said Curtis.
New era tired to get picked on. But that is such a strange argument. We made more progress 100 years after slavery than we made in the last 50 years, so we don't get reparations. Sir, we couldn't read and write. We improved our literacy rate by over 90% in 100 years post-slavery. Of course, we're going to make leaps and bounds 100 years right after slavery. What are you talking about?
Right, it's right after slavery. We had nothing, and then that's what I'm saying. He's not making any sense, but it's one of those things just to make white people feel comfortable and not feel bad for us not wanting to give us reparations. That's all it is. That's all these coons is good for. Is fucking is pulling the line or pulling the whatever for white folks. You know what I'm saying? Just like what New Era is saying, it's not coming from the white people. Why do they even care so much? It's coming from the fucking government. These niggas give Ukraine all this money. They give all this money out that they just waste. And then when it comes to us getting reparations, no. They probably fucking riot in the streets. We get reparations.
Dang. Let's see what else our resident coon has to say.
I was born in 1937 during the Depression. Everyone in my small, low-income Black community, 98% of the households had a man and a woman raising children. Elderly people could walk safely in that community.
Yeah, the
He's like, whatever,
1930s was the 1930s was before the war on drugs, dumb fuck. The 1930s was before they got us hooked on crack cocaine and heroin and all kinds of shit. Dumbass. You about to compare the
That
1930s
was
to now?
reparation for that.
You old back in my day ass nigga. What the fuck? The 1930s?
They
The
made
Great
a war
Depression didn't
specifically
break
for
up
us.
families.
Nothing.
The government did with COINTELPRO.
Without fear of being assaulted by their grandchildren. Never heard a gunfire during that time. Never heard of a child being shot to death.
But I know niggas was getting lynched in the 1930s. What the fuck is you talking about, y'all? I'm gonna look it up. Were there lynchings?
But
Nah, not
make a
even the
good point
lynchings,
too.
bro.
1930s.
He's talking about
I
that
know
there
there
hasn't
was.
been any shootings or any type of violence within the Black community, but yet we were doing good, but yet we were still being hung. So what does that tell you?
Bruh, not even that. I know he's lying, bruh, because people down here in South Carolina way back in the day had guns. Like I be talking to old people all the time,
Hold on,
bruh.
y'all. Real quick,
Like
I
going
found
back in the
something.
day,
I found an
and they
article.
told me how they used to shoot guns. So what the fuck is he talking about?
It says chilling maps of lynchings in 1930s America. These somber map is it sober maps or somber maps? I thought it should be
Somber,
somber.
I believe.
Okay, so it's a typo on their part. They put sober maps. These maps have a chilling topic: the prevalence of lynchings throughout the U.S. from 1930 to 1938. Come on.
California.
Between 1882 and 1964. So people was getting lynched up until 1964, and this dumb old head talking about back in the 1930s, the hippity hoppity didn't have the folks doing the drip drop and the hip hop, the hippity hippity hippity
Bruh,
hippity hip
only got lips
hop.
last year in North Carolina.
Come on. They wasn't sagging their pants back in the 1930s.
Right. Niggas
It's
wasn't
a
choking
theory
cats
that
and
the
rapping.
police must that dude too
I
in
was getting
North
lynched.
Carolina last year.
Y'all were literally getting lynched. What are you talking
And why
about?
is he speaking down on Black people anyway?
And again, when I say y'all was getting lynched, I don't mean that with no disdain for my ancestors. If there's any disdain, it's for that misinformation that O-head just put out there, because he's making it seem like the 1930s was a rosy time. Nigga, that was segregation. Right. You can't even get a sandwich at a diner, nigga. You can't even drink from a water fountain. You can't even look at a white girl. Not that looking at him is so fucking appealing. I'm just saying, like, what freedom did Black folks really have in the 1930s for you to be acting like it's the glory days? Look at this shit. Hold on. I want to see what was the rate between the 1930s. This map published in 1939 shows the lynchings for each of the preceding years in the 1930s, from the starting top left, 1930, to the bottom left, which is 1933. Then the top right is 1934, and then the bottom right is 1937, with 1938 at the very bottom. Okay. So this map shows how over that decade, over the 1930s, they slowed down lynchings. Okay. Wait, no. What the fuck? This isn't a slowdown, is it? This is increasing. If 1930 is the top left, which is right here, 1933 is the top right. This is an increase because Louisiana didn't even have no lynching shown, right? So this is an increase. 1934 is the bottom right. No, wait, top right, then bottom. I'm confused, y'all. I'm confused. But if you look at this map, it's looking like lynchings are increasing, not decreasing. Am I tripping, y'all? Let's just read the article some more, because this whole map is confusing. You would think you would keep it in a clearer order. Here we go. 1930. Yeah, in 1930, there were 21 lynchings reported. And this is just what's reported, y'all. Like, come on. How many non-reported lynchings were there? In 1930, there were 21 lynchings reported across 9 states, 6 in Georgia, 4 in Mississippi, 3 in Texas, 2 in both Indiana and South Carolina, 1 in Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, and Oklahoma each. In 1931, okay, so they teeter-totter. Look at this. 1930, there's 21 lynchings. 1931, the total fell to 13 lynchings. But in 1932, it falls again to 8 lynchings. But in 1933, the total rose dramatically to 28 lynchings. 1934, the total halved again to 14 lynchings. Hold on just a second. 1935, the figure increased to 20 lynchings. 1936, there was only 8 lynchings. 1937, only 8 lynchings. 1938, only 6 lynchings. And this is just what's reported. But the old head gonna tell us that we don't deserve reparations because he thought that, it was so cool in the 1930s.
Yeah, like it was just a happening time. I mean, we were prospering in our own way, and even then, they still came in and destroyed all that shit. So
in certain ways, the black community was fiscally better before desegregation, but there were a myriad of issues that we were faced with still.
Yeah.
In the crib.
Well,
50 children today who have been shot and killed in our cities. If you're talking about remedies, we've got to look beyond saying that every solution has to have a winner and a loser. That blacks can only.
Who said that every solution has a winner and a loser? What? And lo and behold, if the U.S. government, or when the U.S. government pays us reparations that include cash payments, that's going to stimulate the fuck out of the economy, just like them stimulus checks did.
I just want to say that
hold on, guys.
You can't make a solution.
Wait a minute. Hold on, New Era. Hold on, New Era. I just had an epiphany. Is that why they called them stimulus checks? Because they were stimulating our frozen economy?
Yep.
Hold on. I gotta look that up. Is that why they were called stimulus checks?
Yeah, bro. This is stimulate the economy, bro. Stimulate. I thought you know that. Like, yeah, if you can't come up with a solution that to help everybody, you just dumb as fuck. Well, you just don't want
Stimulus
to.
checks are payments sent by the government to taxpayers to boost their spending power and spur economic activity. Well, okay. Stop calling it reparations. Call it a stimulus package for descendants of slaves. There we go. Mission accomplished. We need a stimulus package for descendants of slaves that's going to boost their earning potential, generational wealth, and spur economic activity. Because guess what? We're not going to get that reparations and then move to China. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it.
Also, I think with him
Charles,
saying,
hold on real quick, Curtis, real quick. Charles says, I just sent a message for genealogy. Charles, where did you send that message to? Because I haven't received a message on my end yet. All right, Curtis, go ahead.
I just think that when he's saying that how we wasn't shooting each other and there wasn't no gunshots and all that shit back in the day, if you notice, when we was actually with each other, we were prospering. And if we were shooting each other and doing everything that so-called we're doing right now, they wouldn't have fucked with us in the beginning. There wouldn't have been no reason for them to destroy our towns and anything else. They would have just left us alone. So,
and I'm tired of this old head. I'm tired of this old head revisionist history because they were strung out on fucking heroin in the 1930s. Bumpy Johnson and the fucking Frank Lucas and shit was running the streets in the 1930s. They was doing the numbers games and the rackets and having shootouts with Italian mobsters and shit. What the fuck y'all talking about? Acting like there wasn't a criminal gang element in Black American society in the 1930s. But let's see what else the Coons and the Sambos have to say.
Only benefit if whites lose. We have to be defined more than just.
Did he just say if whites lose? What?
More than just victims of can only benefit.
Yeah, that's a racist ass shit.
That's some racist shit. How does us getting paid reparations hurt whites? You know that if the government forced that debt to be paid by the taxpayers, there's more than just white people in America who'd have to pay that reparations national debt.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Didn't motherfucking the last president praying Ukraine on $1 billion hurt every American?
Yep.
And we was losing. So what the fuck you gotta say about that?
Let's talk about it.
Who have been shot and killed in our cities. If you're talking about remedies, we've got to look beyond saying that every solution has to have a winner and a loser, that blacks can only benefit if whites lose. We have to be defined more than just victims of oppression.
The first time I've ever heard someone say blacks only benefit if whites lose is this Sambo right here.
That shit sound like some shit Umar would say.
Victims of oppression. What? So he's saying that we define
How
ourselves
long
as
did you
being
work for the
victims of
CIA,
oppression.
boy? So how long did the
I just need
CIA
some
have you as
reparations
an
from the school
informant?
system for lying to me, saying I was African American. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else to fight about slavery and all that other shit. I just know I ain't African American, and the school system lied to all of us and told us we was all African American. We all came on slave boats. We know the truth now. We need some reparations for that. Can I get an amen?
Amen and a hallelujah. I mean, I'm just wondering, how long was his tenure at the CIA? Who was his handler? What black ran grassroots organizations did he dismantle in the 1960s? I mean, this is the type of nigga that got Malcolm lined up, right? Like this is a dangerous Negro right here, a dangerous boule ass Negro.
When whites were at their worst, blacks are at their best. When we were denied access to hotels, we built our own. We have to communicate to our people the history of how they achieved in the face of oppression. But if we continue to sit back and say all of the challenges that we face in out of wedlock births of violence, that somehow the control of that is in the hands of white.
And that stiff wig broad, the camera keeps panning to, looks like an immigrant. She don't even look like a native black American.
America. And therefore, until white people change, there's nothing that we can do. This sets up a terrible situation for this nation. The big crisis facing America is not racial. It is a moral and spiritual freefall that is consuming our children.
Reparations is not racial, dumbass.
Yeah,
There's
what did
not
it?
a racial component to reparations.
He's off topic, anyways. What the fuck? Where did it get to this? At what point did it went from reparations to this?
Bro,
You know
even
what I'm saying?
homie right here who looks like a white supremacist low key is like, damn, I'm confused. Like,
Right.
what is
What's
he talking
going on
about?
here?
Like, you're like, bro, what is happening?
The highest death rate among black families is homicide. Among Silicon Valley.
What? I'm gonna look up that statistic. I don't believe you. What is the highest death rate amongst black people? I think it should be like heart attacks or diabetes or something before homicide. What? Like, what the fuck is he talking about, bro? Like, can Dr. Phil not fact check him, or is this just a part of the program? Quick Google search, guys. Black Americans have higher mortality rates than white Americans for many causes of death, including heart disease, cancer, accident, stroke. We are at a greater risk for homicide, but homicide is not the top. Look, the top for us, distribution of 10 leading causes of death amongst Black U.S. residents from 2020 to 2022. Number 1 is cancers. Number 2 is accidents, unintentional injuries. Number 3 is diseases like strokes. Number 4 is COVID. Let's see if homicide's even top 10. Shit. We've got. Oh, hold on real quick. We got diabetes. Okay, we do have homicide. But homicide is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on the list. But if we just listen to Pop, he's gonna make us think it's the leading cause.
Yo, bro, you wanna know what's funny about all that shit? Anybody to be a fucking doctor or whatever the fuck, all these diseases above fucking homicide. How the fuck Dr. Phil don't know that shit? And he's supposed to be a doctor.
And I think Dr. Phil was like a medical doctor, low key, too. I think he did something within the medical field. I don't think he was like a psychologist or anything. So yeah, as a doctor, he should have spoke up and said, no, actually, I think you're incorrect. The top leading causes of death amongst Black Americans is heart attack and cancers and injuries and stroke. Come on. Well, let's see what else the Sambos have to say. Okay, I guess on this Monday, we're taking a look at the Sambos. I don't know.
the highest level of suicide, 6 times the national average. In Appalachia, they're prescription drugs. So if we are to address this crisis that is causing our children to lack a sense of personal responsibility or value for their own life, they will take their own life or take someone else's. So in order to address that, we must come together and look beyond race and realize America,
I knew it.
because it's in a moral and spiritual freefall. None of us should be defined by the worst of what we were in the past, but we should be defined by what we want to become in the future. And that people are motivated to change when you give them a vision of victory.
Okay, this old pseudo pick yourself up by your imaginary bootstraps. Okay.
Told you he's there to make
All
white
right.
people feel comfortable and feel good about not wanting to give us reparations. We all need to come together, and he sounds like a white woman. We all need to come together and not look at race, and I don't see race and color, and we just all come together in this land and
Listen,
hold
guys,
hands.
listen.
Shut up.
You've got to just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. But Sambo, we don't have boots. Well, you just need to imagine you have boots, pick yourself up by the straps on those imaginary boots, and get to walking towards progress. But Uncle Sambo, which way is progress? I don't know, but you better start
You get
walking and
there.
don't ask
Yeah.
for any help. Like what?
Look
All
towards the
right.
sky, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this broadcast. We've had a few live callers tonight. This has really inspired me to do a more in-depth community discussion on this topic. So, I think this Friday we'll do like a really big multi-hour discussion on reparations, because I'd really like to hear from some of the higher IQ folks that are opposed to reparations, because with them we can at least debate, at least talk about difference of opinions and shit. But with them low IQ knucklejacker niggas, like as soon as you start intellectually chin checking them a little bit, it's oh fuck your mama, da 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 da. All right, dude.
Hey, that's when I start laughing, bro.
They got all this
Yeah.
they got all this vitriol and self-hatred, but any little bit of criticism they receive, they get emotional as fuck. You ever notice that? Like they can't handle any type of criticism about themselves, but they got so much criticism about their own people. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Curtis, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you love yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mike, do you love yourself?
Well, that's an interesting question, because today I was listening to rap music.
I
Yes,
almost smoked a nigga. But the chorus came on. Like nigga. I was hoping he didn't get off. I was hoping to talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
man.
think when Mike picked me up and shit, I think he thought I was you and shit, and then he said some gay ass shit and then left. I was going to him that I wasn't Curtis. I just happened to laugh and you seen
Shout
it.
out to Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, looking forward to Friday. And shout out to Charles. Charles, if you're still in the chat, post a message. I just saw the email you sent me, Charles, about booking that genealogy consultation. I'll go ahead and respond to your email as soon as I get off the stream here.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Ty. I know I owe you an email as well, Ty. I'm gonna log in there either tonight or tomorrow and take a look at your family tree and get back to you, Ty. Don't worry. Don't worry. I am a one-man band. Lord, I need some help. I need some help, Lord. But all right, guys, let's do a little round robin of closing remarks. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm tired. Good talking to y'all. Whatever. I'll be back on here Friday. Do you know what time you're trying to have that discussion, or you still?
I don't have a time, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna schedule it tonight. So regardless, if you guys just look on the homepage of my channel, it'll be scheduled, and you can see the time and set the reminder and all that good stuff.
Cool. That's what's up. Well, all right, y'all. I ain't really got much to say. Umar is being Umar. This nigga just does what he does and says what he says, man. It's all about Pan-Africanism to him. So, he's gonna ride that shit till the wheels fall off, and that's it pretty much. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow or later on, whatever. Peace.
Peace, brother. Peace. All right, New Era. Closing remarks.
Peace, love, and soul, and I do hope that there'd be some people smarter that don't agree with reparations come on Friday. So with the talk like fuck human beings. Because I swear to
Real,
God,
I
I'm
don't
talking
even want to
about
just talk. I don't even want to just talk to a bunch of people who agree on reparations. Like I don't just want it to be
Yeah, exactly.
a circle jerk of us all talking about what we already know. No, I want some naysayers, some detractors, some people who are contrarian. Just be able to state your point and allow for pushback.
Yeah, as long as there won't be that dumbass shit like white people don't need it. Like it's not white people paying reparations, and bro.
Hey.
Peace, love, and soul, and I'll see you later.
All right, brother. Till next time.
Thanks.
And once again, I urge you guys, if you've yet to trace your family heritage, if you've yet to take a deep dive into your ancestral roots, go ahead and check out my new website, nativebblackancestry.com. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something special for you guys. I don't do this often, but I'm feeling generous right now. If there's anybody on this live stream right now or watching the replay, if you hear this message and you're interested in a genealogy consultation, go ahead and send me an email directly, mike@nativebblackancestry.com. If you send me an email directly, I will give you a discount. As you can see, if you book through the website, the genealogy consultations are $99 for a 90-minute consultation. If you email me directly, instead of booking through the website, email me at mike@nativebblackancestry.com, and I'll give you the old consultation rate of $75. So go ahead and save some money, take a look into your ancestral roots, and let's get the ball rolling.
Glad that, you know what I'm saying, I even, you know what I mean, experienced this. I'm glad I experienced you from, you know what I mean, enlighten me from the internet to, you know what I mean, online, getting one-on-one in depth, giving me a lot of information that I can take back to my people as well. And hopefully we could both get the everything meshing with everything with the lineage and everything with the genealogy. This is no scam. This is all real. This is a real homeboy that put it down. He mean what he say. He got receipts and he put it down. He stands on business. Straight up. One love.
I want you to remember this, you not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.